think we got a little too much on her. There she goes.
She wants to go forwards a little bit.
Yeah, she's free.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can move your side back, then Ian will just
I've got
move
it.
your
You got it?
yeah. Move that back. Get it away from here again. There you go. All right. Good.
All we got there.
Yeah.
Going down.
Awesome. Well, you did that right.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Typhoon Legacy channel. If you're watching this on the subscriber channel, typhoonlegacy.vhx.tv, thank you very much for your subscription. The funds that you put towards that subscription help out with everything that we're doing in the shop, including the disassembly of the Napier Sabre engine. You can see we've actually made some fairly substantial progress on this. It's a little bit easier than another engine. To say, even if you took a crash recovered engine to disassemble it, it would still have all the seals and gaskets in it that can be very, very difficult to remove. In this case, because it's a cutaway engine, they didn't put any gaskets back on it, and it makes it quite simple for us to just unbolt components and take them off. So I guess the one thing that we have to watch out for in that case is the fact that they are cutaway, and there are some fragile areas, specifically on the intakes. I'm not even going to lift that up, it's right down here. But we have to be very careful that we don't fracture anything where it's already been cut away. So I'm going to do a quick episode here. The Sabre is pretty exciting to a lot of people. We did a Facebook post showing that we were disassembling it and showing a couple pictures of what we had with the castle coming off, reduction gear case. And it was very well received. So we want to do a little bit of an update here on what's going on, what we found inside this engine, how it looks, and show you some of the details that you don't normally get to see. I'll start right where I was standing, and that is the rear face of the engine here. This is the mating face for the Supercharger to attach, and you can see here, this is the upper crankshaft and the lower crankshaft visible through this back end here. The gear on this one is actually the drive gear from the Kaufman starter, or shotgun starter as a lot of people call them. So it's driven into the top crankshaft and then transmitted at the front of the engine into the bottom crankshaft. You can see these guys here, these two gears are the lay shaft gears that mesh into the Supercharger. They're driven again from the front crankcase, the front reduction gear housing, and all the way back through the blocks. You can see those lay shafts also drive the worm wheels, and these are the, hopefully you can see them there, these are the actual worm drives for the sleeves. They've got one that's unfortunately cut away, but it's an excellent example of what's going on in here. You can see that bronze gear and the ball underneath that's actually driving the sleeve down at the bottom here. So the lay shaft drives all the way back from the front of the block to the back and then into the Supercharger while driving every one of those sleeve drive mechanisms. You can see we've still got the intakes on the bottom. That's these guys here. There's 4 of those, 2 bottom, 2 top. We've got the top ones off. These are very fragile, as I mentioned earlier. They really did a thorough job cutting them up, and I think there's probably a lot less material remaining than what they removed. You can see how fragile they are. They didn't leave a lot holding on. It works well when it's on the block, but as a display, but it's pretty fragile sitting here on the bench. So we've got both of those. You can see the amount of dirt that this engine's collected over the years. My understanding is that this was actually at one point in England in storage, and it went down to New Zealand, where it was assumed that it was a complete engine, and much to their chagrin was actually a cutaway. So that was in about 1980 from my understanding, so it's been refurbished at that time and then sitting since. So over to the sides here, another interesting aspect of this is we've pulled all of the cylinder heads. So with the Sabre, there's 2 crankcase halves. You can see the seam right there. Crankcase half, cylinder block, and then cylinder heads go onto the surface here. So let's see if I can reach one. No, I can't reach them. These are the cylinder heads here that go into the cylinder block. And as you can see, there's a couple pistons up there, which is very weird because it doesn't follow the order of assembly. When you're assembling a Sabre, the engine has to be tipped onto its side, so it's 90 degrees, and these blocks get lowered down, and it's a very tricky process. There's a special rig that drops the block very slowly, so you can actually fit the pistons to the sleeves in 12 different positions, which I can imagine is not going to be easy. I don't know why they did it, and they only did it on this one side, but I think they got lazy during that assembly process, and they took all 4 pistons out in the center cylinders, which is neat for us. They put the pistons in there, they just didn't connect them to the connecting rods. So you can see we've got four open cylinders. One of them, they didn't even put the wrist pin in. 3 of them had it. Instead, they just put all the hardware inside the piston and shoved it down the bore. So when we noticed that they moved around a little bit, we used double-sided tape and pulled them out of there, which gives us a really nice window into the inside of this. And you can see that the crankshaft and the connecting rods, everything in there is in absolutely brilliant condition. So we're really excited to see, once this is disassembled, if it can pass NDT examination and measurements to make sure that it's within tolerance. So it'll be pretty exciting. A lot of these parts look brand new. Moving around to the front of the engine, you can see this is, we removed the reduction gear cover and the prop shaft, which is sitting on the floor here. This is the main prop bearing. It was supposed to come off first to help us get this drive plate off, but we couldn't get it off. So we've now got a puller modified. Mark was here on Wednesday, and he made a bunch of extra long arms so we can actually reach down and pull this bearing off, and then we'll be able to pull this plate off. The plate itself is positions the shafts on the reduction gears around the periphery of the crankshafts and the prop shaft. So you can see in here, everything goes in there. This is the prop shaft rear bearing. It's more of a bushing style. And then you've got drives here that are driven from the 4 gears out here, which drive those lay shafts that run through the block that I was describing earlier. This is the forward lay shaft gear. Again, this is the top crankshaft and bottom crankshaft. These gears basically drive everything through the reduction gears that are on there. And you can see the top crankshaft here is driving another gear that drives the upper accessory case and all of the accessories that run on the top of this engine, which are substantial. There's air pump, vacuum pump, there's the dual distributors, dual magnetos, hydraulic pump. It's a pretty busy area when you get it all plumbed in. And then you look on the bottom one, and then there's another drive gear that comes off of that comes right down here and drives the lower accessory case, which is still fitted. So you can see this guy down here. It's going to be coming off after we tip this engine to remove the blocks, just because it's a pain crawling around in the bottom of this engine. Now, another thing to look at is the stand. This stand, you can see these large castings here. This stand was modified in New Zealand after it arrived there to include this. The original lower part of the stand was apparently disposed of, and they made that the new lower part. But these castings are original, and what they are is an original set of castings, front and rear, from an original Napier Sabre engine stand. And the whole point of that is that this bore here is a pivot point to allow the entire stand to flip 90 degrees and be able to remove and install the blocks in a perfect position to allow the pistons to slide in and out with ease. And it can tip either way. There's this little cutout here actually spins down and locks on a tab down below that will be in a bit of a frame here. I'll get more detail into that later on, because we're actually going to be taking this engine off of the stand and rebuilding the original style Napier Sabre maintenance stand. So I'll take you back now to our supercharger assembly. This just came off, allowing us to see what I showed you here. We haven't done any disassembly because it is quite a substantial assembly and it will be coming apart. But we can see right off the bat that being a Napier Sabre 7 supercharger, there is a massive difference in everything in here from a 2A style supercharger. Even these covers, the cover here, if you look back, we shared some photos when we disassembled our 2A supercharger. This cover has oil galleys and things in it that are in completely different orientation than in the 2As. So the principle of the thing is pretty similar, but it's definitely an upgraded version. It's got a single-sided impeller, substantial boost compared to the 2A, And as you can see, fuel injection, and there's the inside bore. Here's my hand for scale. Pretty substantial amount of fuel goes into that. In addition to the fuel injection, it is also water methanol injected into the same bore on the back side that you can't see right now. We'll get more into this as we disassemble it, giving you way greater detail than what I'm able to give you at this point in time. But for now, you can see that Sabre 7 supercharger off of the engine. I guess the last thing I'll leave you with is this engine is becoming very small. It was quite a substantial presence in the shop, and now basically from the back of the block here to maybe about here would be about a Chevy V8, I think, and not too much farther. But of course, that's a complete engine. This is nowhere near complete when it's stripped down like this. So I look forward to your questions and comments. One thing that I won't be answering too much about is everybody is very curious to know what we're going to be doing with the cutaway sections and how we're going to make an engine run, having the cutaway issues that we have with this engine. We're working on it. We have a lot of options, but we don't want to over discuss that until we've selected our plan of attack on this. So trust us, we're going to be building a Sabre. It is going to run. I can't give you a deadline on when it will, but we will make it happen. Until next time, guys, have a great day. Cheers.